Welcome back to this week's episode of Ouens with Opinions. My name is Dane, and if you have not done it already, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as follow us on Spotify and on Instagram to be notified about new content. Enjoy.
Let me just take a breather. The second point was, did you know?
Oh, oh,
Did you know the
okay.
DA is
Here we go.
the DA, amongst other political parties, of course, are they planning to push a bill, or they have already placed it in front of Parliament, brought a bill to Parliament in order to protect the rights of the LGBTQ. Did you know that?
I did not know that. So, what are these rights?
That's very interesting. So let me answer your question. So these rights include that there won't be any discrimination against members of the LGBTQ.
Okay.
But now we know discrimination is subjective, is it not?
Hmm.
Just like racism, it's
Hmm.
subjective because I know we had the discussion before that we have been taught all our lives since we go in school going age that apartheid happened, racism is this is how we can identify racism, and
Yeah.
then that's how we've been taught throughout our lives. We weren't taught how to deal with racism
Hmm.
or
Hmm. Hmm.
discrimination. We're just
Yeah.
taught what it was,
Yeah.
and it's up to us how to deal with it, you see.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So my point is, it became a subjective idea of what discrimination was because we weren't taught how to overcome it. Same thing with LGBTQ.
Okay.
They are pushing a bill forward so that it will protect these members or these people from discrimination.
Uh,
Does that make sense?
what discrimination exactly?
That's my point. It would be discrimination if they feel that you are against what they believe in. That's a form of discrimination.
But if their belief contradicts what we believe, then wouldn't that mean that they discriminating against us?
Exactly. But we are told that it's not so.
Hmm.
You see? So you don't hear that there's a bill being pushed for discrimination against religions or Christianity.
Yeah.
Why is there a special place for LGBTQ groups?
Well, doesn't that just play into the whole thing of the narrative being fulfilled about how certain things and certain behaviors are going to be pushed forward as
Yeah,
normal.
yeah,
So they're going to be normalizing certain behaviors. And basically, yeah, that's just going to,
yeah.
it's not going to end well.
It well, to be honest, it won't.
Mm,
I've been following a lot of conservative media in America,
yeah.
and I can see the end goal of where our country will end up if we continue on this trajectory. Basically, if we
Okay.
continue on this path,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Because, like for example, um, they are pushing BE in their own form, which
Mm,
is known as affirmative action in the first world nation.
yeah.
They are pushing it in their nation, and I can foresee everything that will take place in America. I can just look at the example of South Africa with
Yeah.
what affirmative action has done to us. It
Mm,
has
mm,
created a hostile environment
it has.
with conflicts between all race groups. So
Yeah.
it hasn't done any good, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
And that's where America's going. They
Mm,
are implementing the same thing in a nation that is being told that they are inherently racist.
yeah.
But in actual fact, these are all things that have been taught to them over the past 10 years in the school system.
True.
So now they have people that have now become fully functioning adults who are believing that everything around them is racist.
So
And
basically, they offended with everything.
basically, yes. So where that's going to lead them is what is the current situation in South Africa, when
Mm,
where everything falls apart because people aren't able to overcome their differences. They aren't able to, um, work
deal with,
well together,
yeah, and even dealing with conflict.
dealing with conflict. 100%. I mean,
Mm,
nobody's perfect. Everybody
mm,
will always step on each other's toes, but
yeah,
how you deal with it is important in order to, be a mature, functioning
yeah,
adult. You understand?
yeah,
Not be functioning children in a society. Because that's what is this woke agenda is going to breed. Which
yeah,
is more and more conflict. So my point is, I'm observing what's happening in America with the push for LGBTQ, and now our government is, for some reason, wanting to, you know add this into South Africa as a whole. Like in Sandton, for example, they had a pride march last month. I don't know if you remember that.
yeah. I remember this.
There
Yes.
was like a bomb scare, and then they ended up going anyway.
Anyway, yeah, like clear the area basically.
And yes,
Clear
and
the area so that the community can go and preach in peace or protest in
preach
peace.
in peace. So yes, and where's that protection for any other group that is protesting against something that is more important?
Yeah.
Like protesting against Shell taking oil off the coast of the Western Cape area. You know, why is there no police protecting them, or why is there no large coverage about that?
Yeah.
But yet we get more coverage about a pointless walk down a street with people dressed in uh,
Inappropriate ways.
inappropriate clothing.
I mean,
Yes,
come on, man. Half naked or
it's
even
crazy,
naked
bro.
itself, man. Ugh,
It's crazy.
come
But
on,
now you
man.
see, they just gave the nice side of that protest, because we know that most of these pride events turn into a debaucherous slugfest, if I can call it
Sure.
that, where naked men are walking in the streets, where children can see those type of things. And by pushing this bill in South Africa, for example, will allow and facilitate these type of activities to take place in our country. You see,
Mm.
so like I spoken to my family members about it, and I mentioned that, they looked at how there's a good push against the LGBTQ in the first world nations,
Yeah.
but now in our country we are not really concerned with LGBTQ because we are struggling to get by day to day. We are struggling to do what we need to do.
Mm.
So our concerns about same-sex marriages is not there. The number of same-sex marriages in this country is way insignificant compared to heterosexual marriages.
Yeah.
But yet they are laying the platform for same-sex marriages to be deemed as an important or something that is quite common. You see,
Yeah.
that's why they're trying to push this bill so that they can lay a platform in order to make sure that the push for this new agenda of
Yeah. Yeah.
um, LGBTQ is able to, steamroll ahead
Mm.
and actually become something better than what it will be in this current climate. You see,
That just ties in with your first idea actually.
which is
Um, you know how COVID actually affected the older people more.
yeah,
So by getting rid of the older generation, and we do know that this whole thing is just to depopulate the world.
yes,
So you out here, you have the older generation being, you know, uh, dying off.
yeah,
If I'm gonna put it as bluntly as I can, and you have newer ideas, all those old school ideas, those conservative ideas
yes,
of this type of behavior being wrong. It's now shoved, it's dead, it's in the grave. And you have new school woke ideas
yeah,
out here.
yeah,
My body, my choice. I can do what I want to do, and I don't care about what you think. It's my truth, it's not your truth.
yeah,
You have your truth, I have my
yeah.
truth.
And what's scary is that they just give in NSFAS to every student,
Yeah.
and that's where all these ideas are being taught. You see. Now the
Mm.
next stage is to have it being taught at high school and primary school level.
No, but this is already happening.
Oh, really?
This is already happening. From my personal experience,
Yeah.
I've been told that these topics are already being taught in schools from like young ages, man. I'm talking about uh you know how old? Maybe 12-year-olds.
12-year-olds. Like
12 year
what type
olds
of topics are they covering?
Basically they covering the different genders that are out there.
Are you serious?
So you have your non-binary, you have your male, your female, you have,
Is this really happening
this is
in South
happening,
Africa
this
now?
is currently
So what
happening.
have the has there been any pushback from the parents?
Yes, I mean, from my, just like speaking to people, I don't want to say who they
You
are,
don't have to. Yeah.
but they've said that they've actually like gone to the school and told them explicitly that they don't want their children to be part of that class,
Yeah.
and they need to sit out
And what
straight
did
away.
the principal say about that?
They allowed them because they would have taken the kids out of the school if they had
So
not listened to the
so it would
parents.
actually require us to take
Action.
action against this type of thing.
Yeah. You can't just let it slide. You can't just let it happen.
Or let
If
them
you're just
just
gonna
teach you
let it, yeah,
anything.
if you're just gonna let it happen, why is your kid in school? Do you really care about them then? Do you really
100%.
care about
That's a good question.
what is being fed?
Yeah.
What is your child being fed? We know that the first 7 years of your child is very, very important. Those
True.
are your theta stages.
True.
That's your theta years of your development as
Mm,
a person. All those things that you're exposed to in those first 7 years are gonna stick with you for the rest of your life.
yeah.
You're going to be dealing with child
Yeah.
trauma. You're going to be dealing with all the things that you've been
Yeah.
indoctrinated with. You're going to be dealing with every single thing. So if you allow your child to soak in all this false ideas that there's more than a male and more than a female, man, you just as guilty.
Yeah.
You're just as guilty as the ones teaching them these
Yeah.
ideologies, because it means that you don't care about your child.
That you don't care about your child. That's true, bro.
You
That's
see?
true.
So I've heard that these people are doing the exact same thing right now. They pushing these agendas onto the kids. Kids are out here, they're confused. They don't know what they are. They've been born with male parts. They don't know that they're male. They've been born with female parts. They don't know that they're female. They say that they're non-binary. They don't know what they are. It doesn't make sense.
Well, they basically been what they've been told
Exactly. You
by.
talk to these kids and you give them all this new information about, history is a lie. These things are lies. I can prove to you that this is not true. And then you ask them like, where did you hear about this
Yeah.
stuff? No, my teacher taught me. Okay, do you believe this? Then they stuck in a whole situation. They're
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Yes, I do. But then you don't believe that
Mm,
history has been obscured or taught wrongly.
yeah.
So where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line?
I
Can't you do
want.
your own personal critical thinking
Yeah.
and think for yourself?
Yeah.
Is what I'm learning true?
But to add to that, it
Yes.
doesn't help that pop culture and everything that's woke in the world
Yeah.
facilitates that idea that's
Yeah.
been taught in the school.
Mm.
And I believe that parents need to, I understand work is stressful,
Mm.
work is becoming tough. I mean, both Ash and I are working, and the amount of effort that they are expecting us to exert
Mm.
in our individual jobs. Ash does more physical labor. I have a more desk job, but both are draining.
Yeah.
And I can understand that, we're not parents, but we understand that, when you get home, you are tired and you don't really have um, energy to deal
Yeah.
with all these types of issues.
Yeah.
But, sometimes these sacrifices are needed to be made because individually we are taking the sacrifice on ourselves to work on the culture in thinking straightly to think straight and to understand what truth is by simply preaching the gospel.
Mm.
And the truth is, people need to understand what right and wrong is so that
Yeah.
you are not fooled into believing something that is a lie.
Yeah.
And I would like to reiterate, we're not calling for the heads of those that are members of these groups. We're not calling for the death of these people.
Yeah.
But what we are standing for is the truth, and what we are pushing for is to wake people up to understand. Disclaimer: The contents of the podcast are strictly the views of the Owens on the podcast. Remember to follow us on Spotify and Instagram to be notified about new content. Click on the notification bell to be notified about our new content.